Hi, this is Kim Hallen with Unbridled, and welcome to episode 5 of the herd integration of Relicario. All right, now we're getting a little more interaction here between Puck and Reli. So we'll see how this goes. So Puck's interested in meeting him. That tail swishing, the tail high, that's she's definitely in season, which I knew would happen when a new horse, especially a new boy horse arrived. But actually my mares will do that with any new horse. You can hear Tempo in the background now that she's watching and seeing Puck interacting with Reli. Tempo's getting more distressed back there because she can't be part of the conversation. But it's a lot easier for Reli to deal with one mare at a time. So at least for a few days, I'm going to let him get to know each of them and their energy without both of them trying to vie for him at the same time, which really distresses Shoki. This way, at least Tempo, or one of them at a time, can stay with Shoki. And Marcus, he really is not distressed by this at all. He's just letting it happen. He's been through these ropes before when he arrived. So Puck is not in any way trying to dominate or bully Reli. He's very respectful, and she's trying to get to know him and also flirting with him at the same time. So there's a lot of complex dynamics happening here, and he's just figuring out how to communicate with her and deal with her energies and make sure that they're friendly energies. She's giving him lots of signals about being in season, but again, he's not a stallion, so there's not that dynamic on his end, only her end. Although his little flame in response there shows that he certainly smells that she's in season. Meanwhile, Tempo's really upset back here. She and Shoki are both looking, but she's been squealing and running around because she can see what's happening and she wants to be part of it. So you can see that if she were over here, the dynamic would be much more enthusiastic and a little volatile for Reli. She's just letting him know she's interested in getting to know him. And she's waiting for him to decide that he's interested in that too. So he's been letting her get slowly closer. You can see him slow down there. He's thinking about, actually talking to her. Here we go. Then he decided when he wanted to turn and face her. We may get some squealing here, I don't know. Seemed pretty polite, really. Checked her out, and then he's kind of like, that's enough. His little head tossing is saying that maybe she's a little closer, a little more pressure than he wants. Can't really get her to stop. I think he'd probably love to go back to grazing, but he feels like she's not going to be real polite if he stops, which he's probably right. So I don't want to make this video clip too long. I'll probably stop it and I'll come back on if anything more interesting happens. But now they're walking kind of more side by side, a little bit more of a mirroring. Their steps are actually very you see how in a line their steps are. So at least for a moment there, Puck was really mirroring him step for step when they were next to each other. That's a bonding sign. So she's really trying in her hormonal way to make a connection with him. And I find that when my mares are in season, they're pretty persistent. So this could go on for quite a while if he decides. There we go. She'll be happy when he decides he wants to engage a little bit, but he will probably get bored with that before she will. So they're just sniffing noses there. It's hard to see from here, but they're really engaged in a nose-to-nose conversation, just getting to know each other. They might start grooming, when the hormones are going. Sometimes the friendship seems a lot more intimate real quick than it really is. That's just flirting behavior. So there, Puck says, that's what I wanted. I wanted to kind of have a connection, get to know you a little more. And then she was able to relax and go to grazing. So we have some fun dynamics here. Tempo and Puck have kind of put themselves in the yard near the boys, and it was really interesting to watch when they came to the fence. Reli went further away. Marcus sort of went with Reli, and Shoki put himself between the girls and, especially Reli, I think. And so they kind of created this boundary of the two boys, Shoki and Marcus, creating space and a boundary between themselves or between Reli and the mares. The mares are now heading around the house. They have the run in my yard right now. So that was it. But it was interesting and gave me a little preview. Now Shoki's sort of following them. Again, he's a little gimpy this morning. And Marcus is staying with Reli. So Shoki is letting the girls know that he is still, he's part of their herd, and he's going to kind of be the go-between. And Marcus has taken up the responsibility of, I don't want to say babysitting. He's staying as a companion with Reli, and you can see that their bodies are facing the same direction. They're lining up, which shows that they are bonding right now. And meanwhile, Shoki is right there, and you can barely see. I think you can see Puck but there's a gate right over there, and Puck and Tempo are just at that gate. So Shoki is doing a great job of just staying connected with both aspects of the herd. The boys who are down here, and the girls who are, sorry about all this walking around, but the girls are right around here hanging out by this gate. So, and Shoki's right in there. So this is just a way that they're all, maintaining communication. They know where everybody is, and it allows things to happen calmly without all the dynamics that would be going on if the girls were in there right now, being hormonal and trying to gain access to Reli when Shoki is not yet comfortable with that dynamic. So when you have time and you can take your time with an integration and allow it to be done like this, that's great. Now, a lot of people would just choose to say, we're just going to keep a gelding herd and a mare herd. But I really believe in integrated herds, first of all. I think it's much more rich and natural lifestyle. Of course, with geldings, it's never a completely natural lifestyle, but look at these two playing, which is just awesome to see. And again, this is play, but they're also figuring each other out. Now you see, as soon as Marcus got a little too rough, Reli left. That's the rule when boys play these games, and that's how you know it's not dominance or bullying. And I'm really glad that Marcus took the no. See him? Now he's like, okay, game over. That's the big key, and that's what I was hoping. Marcus didn't grow up in a herd, and he doesn't always know what the appropriate thing to do is, but this tells me that Shoki's been training him well, teaching him well. So they had a game. Marcus got a little over enthusiastic. Reli said, that's too much for me. He walked away, and Marcus said, okay, and he honored that. So they're just learning about each other and about each other's boundaries, at least in that moment. And they continue to grow their relationship from there. The more they play, the more they'll get to know each other. And also, it's just like with humans. The answers, some days you're up for more, and other days you not in the mood for so much. So the boundaries change with every interaction. And that's part of the beauty of what we can learn from horses, is to just be honest with each other and honor and respect what the other is saying. Okay, so it is now the second afternoon, and I just put Tempo in with Marcus and Reli to see how this will go for a little while. I've been trying to give each of the mares a little time on their own, and it's really interesting because when Marcus came, Tempo could not be kept apart from him. I mean, from the moment he arrived, she wanted to be next to him, and it was love at first sight with these two. And as you can see, they're still bonded. She comes in here now. I thought she'd act the same way with Reli, but she really hasn't. She kind of keeps her distance from him. And you see that she came in and look at their body positions. She lined right up with Marcus. So when horses align like this while grazing, their body positions facing the same direction, it means that they are, not only are they bonding, but they're sending a message to other horses in the area that we are in alignment, we're part of the same herd, we're together. So in the wild, where you may have huge herds of hundreds of horses that have different family bands, I call family natal bands, or even bachelor bands, that's part of how they tell which horses belong to which band, in addition to just knowing the individuals. But there is a visual with it. If the horses are aligned as they graze with their bodies, that says we are part of a herd. And let's see, so Reli has now turned his body position to align with theirs, even though he's way over there. So he's letting them know that he would like to align with this herd, and they are staying in the same position. So not sure how to interpret that, but it seems logical to say that maybe they're saying, okay, if you want to. Now Tempo just turned, but interestingly, she turned away from Reli, and Marcus and Reli have been together all day, so they've been in alignment, but Marcus just turned his body a little bit to align with Tempo. So this is really interesting that Tempo is, despite being a female with hormones and a new gelding has arrived, she is choosing to stay mostly with Marcus. And Marcus is now almost saying, let's go over and meet the new guy. And Tempo's going with him. So he's kind of taking the lead on saying, now Tempo's going to say, I don't think I want, okay. So she's being a little protective of Marcus and kind of saying, I would rather you not be part of this band quite yet. I'm not sure about you. So it could also be a little bit of hormones. She's interested in him, but she's obviously also trying to keep her original herd together. And it's hard to say here if she's really flirting with him. Doesn't appear to be. More she's saying, why don't you keep a little distance? And even though Reli and Marcus have been bonding all day today, they've been together and have been bonding since he arrived, he still is very respectful of the fact that Tempo's been in this herd longer, and that Tempo's right to be with Marcus is stronger than his. But look at him, he immediately turned his body to align with her again. Now, when you just saw him start moving, that's because Marcus started moving. And Marcus is now aligning himself with Tempo, or he might be coming to me. It's buggy this afternoon, and he always has a really hard time when the bugs first start coming out in the spring. It's like, save me, Mom, from the bugs. So he's just kind of leaving Tempo and Reli to have some time together. And Rayleigh's really focused on some stuff going on the property behind that fence and tree line. It's hard to see clearly what's over there, but there are donkeys and goats and all kinds of things back there that he may not be used to seeing. But the really interesting thing for me with this is that Tempo is really not laying any kind of claim, even as a mare, to Reli. And as you saw yesterday, Puck's behavior was very different. Puck was very interested in Reli, comes Marcus again, in terms of, wanting to flirt with him, the hormonal aspect of it. Tempo, which is usually my mare that is the most hormonal. It's fascinating to me that she's not really interested in Reli in that way. Got a crow in the background that's going a little crazy. I don't know if y'all can see that on the video, but very, very interesting to me. So yesterday when Puck came in here and was flirting with Reli, Tempo really didn't like that. She was distressed over there, and so Tempo has kind of, you know, in little ways given Reli a little bit of a cold shoulder, kind of saying, this is my herd, and I'm not sure I want you integrating with it yet. So she's very much keeping herself between Marcus and Reli, and really interesting.